Really everything that we're doing at this current moment is the result of one thing. And it's this massive market shift, right? It's happening across the board in just about every single industry. Really the goal here, guys, is just to get you guys onboarded, get you ready to go so you can understand the retail hedge fund process. We've built a lot of pieces on the back end to give to you guys that you can utilize as a resource so you can be most effective at what you're doing. So real simple, guys. The onboarding process is pretty quick. I expect to wrap this call up in about 45 minutes. But in that 45 minutes, we should touch on just about every single piece of the equation so that you guys have the confidence going into these different markets where you can go in making offers. And of course, our team is here on the back end if you guys need help underwriting deals or you have some questions as far as that goes. We've sent so many of these out so far. And I feel like we within 20 seconds, I can pop a property in Zillow, look at it real quick and underwrite it, make an educated decision as far as, hey, I think this is the angle. We should be able to get an offer around this range, right? So just know that we're here on the back end. I have Lisa, who is our underwriter. She's also my wife. She's amazing. She's a local real estate agent here, but she's helping on the back end as far as getting this process going. She really is like the protein molecule on the back that keeps the ship sailing, right? I'm kind of the vision caster, building out the processes, maintaining high-level relationships, ironing things out so you guys have the roadmap. And then any deals that get submitted through the portal, Lisa underwrites them. She gets them ready to submit and send to the funds. So in most cases, if you guys need that extra insight, I can go ahead and patch you in directly with her so we can have a shared thread. And if you guys have questions in regards to properties, she can fire off and answer those pretty quickly. Really everything that we're doing at this current moment is the result of one thing. And it's this massive market shift, right? It's happening across the board in just about every single industry. We're not only seeing it in the single family space, we're also starting to see it in auto body repair shops. For example, our buddy here owned 3 big auto collision shops, right? They were the biggest provider here in Colombia. Well, this big nationwide corporation came and made him an offer that he could not refuse, right? They came and bought him out. They also bought J.D. Harris, which is the second largest auto body shop in the Colombia area, right? So what's happening, guys, in almost every single industry is these big hedge funds, big corporations, right? They're hiring these kids fresh out of college, out of Yale, Harvard, whatever the case might be. And, these people analyze numbers at a high level, and they can literally pull a spreadsheet, right? Pull a profit and loss statement, crunch the numbers, and see what makes sense on paper. And then to make matters worse, let's put COVID-19 on top of that whole equation, and we see how the last year has worked, right? The government has printed tons and tons of money, right? Now, for every action, there's an equal or greater reaction, right? You can't just print money and expect nothing to happen. So we're stepping into an inflationary scenario, right? Meaning, hey, in the next several years, the value of a dollar is going down, right? Inflation is coming, and some of these smart institutional people, some of the smartest financial minds in the world, see this, right? So what they're doing is they're hedging against inflation, right? Hence the word hedge funds. So in my venture in the real estate investing industry, traditionally I've always had to find houses that are 60, 70% of market value in order to turn those and sell it to a cash buyer or an investor for a fee, right? Now, I've sold the hedge funds a lot in the past, but never have they ever paid more than like 75, maybe 80% until this year, right? So what's happening, guys, is a massive, massive market shift. And this is just like, hey, we need to stay ahead of this, right? So what's coming is this, guys. We got the iBuyers. right? We got Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door, these huge, ginormous corporations, right? Now this rabbit hole goes deep, right? I'll touch on just a little piece of it, but you're seeing them pop up in most major markets. And when it comes down to it, the mom and pop investors can't really keep up with them. Real estate agents, as we know them, over the next several years, this whole industry is going to look entirely different, right? Like real estate agents now that see this coming have a fear for their life, right? At least for their career, because these big companies are cleaning house. Now, these are not the hedge funds that we're working with, right? These are the big corporate type of people. You actually have to take possession of these properties, hold title before you can submit it and go through their process, right? But I say this to say, pay attention to what's going on, because this market shift is happening and it's happening quickly, right? Real estate agents, it's time for the pivot, right? And I've been saying this for a couple years. Trevor Mock actually kind of started saying the hybrid type of gig, like real estate agents and investors need to collaborate, come together to create more opportunities, because guess what? These flat fee listing brokerages are coming up that are just starting to undercut real estate agent commissions, right? So what used to be 6% commissions in a standard market, we're seeing 4 and 5% across the board, right? So it's interesting. So where I'm going with this, guys, is finding your leverage, right? We have to be able to position ourselves in the industry to see what's coming, right? And leverage those opportunities, right? Who's got your money? At the end of the day, guys, we got to figure out where's the money? Where's the liquidity coming from, right? Instead of just mindlessly marketing in all these different markets, trying to create opportunities, right? We need to think, okay, let's pay attention behind the scenes. Instead of focusing on the path that you're taking today, focus on the target, right? Focus on the goal, the target that you want to hit. Reverse engineer that. Money, liquidity being released in these markets. I need to start paying attention and see what's actually happening behind the scenes, right? That's leveraging your resources. That's looking at what's actually happening and utilizing that as a tool in your business, right? I got a few more people that are joining on. So this call will be recorded. If you guys end up missing out on any of this information, I can go ahead and share a replay link so you guys have it and you can tune in. But all I'm saying, guys, is pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on in the market and do whatever you can to position yourself to be on the other side of that. We're facing the largest separation in wealth in history, right? Like the rich are getting richer and they're pulling all the liquidity out of the market. Government-backed companies, right? Like those big corporations, it's all a power play, right? It's all about control. They're not on your side, right? But what I'm saying is now is the time to take control of your resources, your destiny, leverage your network and find opportunities, right? If you don't take action now, it might be too late. My motto with everything that we do is just this: build a team so strong that you don't know who the boss is, right? I want to raise up a team of winners, right? That real estate is a team sport when it comes down to it. Like we can't, just like life, relationships, we can't do this alone, right? So the more that we can come together and collaborate, obviously the whole tide rises, right? All the ships sail. We help one another by empowering with knowledge, capital, resources, relationships, whatever the case might be, right? So everything that we do revolves around this model. Real estate is a team sport. Now, partnership portal, this is getting straight into the process, straight into the nitty gritty, so that you guys can navigate everything that we've built on the back end and you can dial in your marketing so that you can be most efficient in what you're doing, right? So I'm going to share a link with every single one of you. If you don't already have it, those of you that have already tuned in, you have access to it, right? But here's the onboarding process for the retail fund, right? I got a quick 45-minute video for you guys to watch. This video is actually very similar to what we're going through today. Today's just a little bit more long-winded and intimate, where we can ask questions, we can really dive in and, again, equip you guys with the tools that you need to win, right? But if you have not watched this entire call, watching the onboarding video is paramount, right? That's going to be the most important piece to really getting started, understanding the back-end processes so that you can be most effective in what we're doing, right? After you watch the video, right, we got the deal submission link, right? I would recommend saving this submission link in your bookmarks. You can see in my team space, I got the submission link. I have the submission responses, everything on the back end, right? Any deals that turn out should be submitted through this link. Now, the reason that we have all these questions is because this is exactly the information that we need in order to send it and upload it into the system for the funds, right? So obviously your name, your email, phone number. We have all the buy box markets attached so that you have that as a roadmap. You can reverse engineer all these numbers into the marketing. So obviously max purchase price based on market, bed, bath count, and year built, right? Now we have several different funds that we're working with, this fund being in the most markets, but some of the other funds are a little bit more competitive, and I'll get down to the details back in the partnership portal after this. Process is really simple. We take pride in really servicing the dispositions end, right? Not only do we have these big institutional buyers, big hedge fund relationships, our in-house transaction coordinator is in charge of maintaining relations with the sellers, right? Like obviously we want you to be in the driver's seat, but we want you to be effective, crushing out, finding deals, locking up contracts, right? With this, we understand that whenever we submit any given deal, right, we're looking at 24 to 48 hours just to get an initial response on an offer. If that offer is not as high as we want and I need to counter, we're looking at possibly 24 to 48 additional hours just to get that offer in the door, right? So in this time, the sellers could be sitting around waiting. Well, I just signed a contract. It's 5 days in, almost a week. I haven't heard from anybody. What's going on, right? Process is simple. It's just, hey, transaction coordinator reaches out. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'm the closing coordinator for the property at 123 Main Street. Just wanted to give you a quick phone call to let you know what to expect moving forward. And I'll keep you updated as soon as we have an inspection date lined up, right? Real simple. We don't mention the companies. We'll reference our wholesaler contact's name, our partner's name, right? But we're not getting in the middle of the deal at all. Basically, it's transaction coordinator servicing the transaction, right? Real professional. Everything is precise and dialed in for a reason. Now, some of you that have submitted the deals pre-contract, we're getting away from that model for the most part. Some of the calls that we've been on with the funds lately, they've brought that up, and they're just trying to cut out, a little bit of that middle ground, right? We can't be submitting deals and then we get an offer spit back. We reach out to our partner, or maybe it's a deal internally, go back to the seller, and they've either signed a contract with somebody else or they decided not to sell, right? At the end of the day, time kills all deals. That simple, right? Time kills all deals. So we need to be aware of that. Strike when the iron is hot. Again, that's why we're here on the back end. That's why we have a full-time underwriter who, if we have questions, you can shoot a text. Hey, I'm looking at this property. I feel like we're real close on the numbers. Can you please put eyes on it to give me the confidence? Let me know where we need to be, right? And we'll work on the back end. I'll even go in and tell you how to negotiate it, right? Hey, here's your angle. Looks like houses are selling in the neighborhood around this range. I would talk to the seller and have this conversation, right? So again, empowering you guys so that you have the knowledge to go out there. For the more advanced wholesalers that are turning and burning, you guys know what you're doing. So once you can grasp the buy box and what that looks like, boom, you just apply that to what you're already doing and it's second nature, right? Real simple. So obviously, the questions that we need come up in any property submission. The address, year built, square footage, bed, bath count, contract price. This is contract to you, right? This is AB contract price. We all know and understand that we're submitting these deals for 100% retail, right? Hey, whoever's got wind in the background, make sure you guys mute yourselves. That makes it easy to go. We're submitting these things at retail value, right? So by knowing the AB price, we're partners, right? We're partners here. So I'm negotiating on your behalf to get it as high as we can. But at least knowing the contract price, I know how much room we have, and I'm pushing to try to get that as high as possible, right? But contract price, that's there for a reason, right? That gives us insight on the back end. Every time a submission comes through, we open up a file for that property, push it through the process, and as soon as we get an offer, I reach back to our partner before we lock up or execute anything, right? Two most important things in this submission is the monthly HOA amount and the property taxes. This is a buy and hold investor, right? So they're assessing these numbers off of cap rates. Now they're buying about a 5% cap, which is crazy. So monthly HOA amount is important. Make sure every seller, when you're in that sales process, ask them, hey, is there any HOA dues, right? Is this in the HOA association area? If so, what is that amount, monthly or annually, right? And then property taxes, you can find that on PropStream, NAR, wherever you're looking. Occupancy at closing, they will buy houses with tenants in place. In that case, we just need to know, hey, tenant occupied. As far as the lease, when did the lease start and what is the lease end date, right? Good to know if what the rent amount is, right? But that's really all we need to know. Hey, when does the lease end? What is the current lease terms? What is the rent amount, right? And then closing date, obviously knowing the closing date for AB contract. We are asking for 35 days, right? 35 days to be safe. Just because of the submission process, inspection process to get the ball rolling, that's the sweet spot just to make sure. Usually we can get deals closed quicker, but on your contracts, just make sure you got, I would say, 30 business day close. That's what we put on all contracts, 30 business day close. Technically, that buys you like 45 days, right? Condition of the property, good to know this, but you don't have to go in super detail. Hey, is it fair, good, or great condition? Does it need a new roof, new AC unit, any major systems, right? But no need to get in the weeds because we're submitting these things straight through. Fair, good, or great is good insight on our end, and anything additional you could provide, that's better, right? Inspection contact, we just ask for the sellers or whoever is in charge of the property management, for their contacts so that once we get an offer, we already have that in the system. We can reach out to them and we coordinate inspections on our end, pushing it through, right? We get the inspections done and then push it to closing. And then lastly, AB contract. This part might be a little bit alarming to some people, but again, we operate in full transparency, right? Everything we're doing, one, we're partners, right? We'll sign a JV agreement that says, hey, we're not going to steal your seller's information or anything else. You guys are protected, right? But this allows us to open up a file for each property, push it through the process, boom, right? Handle the closing from A to Z, right? From contract to close. Pretty simple, right? Now, as far as more information, Partnership Portal is full of buy box areas. I have folders set up for each fund that goes over property zip codes, heavy buying areas, and I have your purchase criteria, right? So going down with that, again, everything we do is built systematically to ensure a smooth disposition system, right? This document we keep updated. So for example, there's a couple markets that are on our buy box list. Here's the big buy box list. Couple markets currently have a buying freeze, right? That's these three markets highlighted red: St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Las Vegas, right? They filled their buying orders, maxed out in these areas, so they're like, oh, pump the brakes. We need to get in some of these houses, fix them up, rehab them, and get our feet under us, right? So my goal, as soon as any updates come from the funds, we're letting you guys know, hey, let's pause on the marketing in these areas, right? Detached single-family homes only. If it's a duplex, townhouse, condo, mobile home, any of that stuff, they're not touching it, right? Detached single-family homes only. Now we do have the buy box criteria here for Fund 1. But again, the strike zone, the sweet spot we see between like 110,000 ARV to 300,000, right? As we get towards the top of their purchase price, 350 and above, or even, so they will buy a little bit above 350, but that's just kind of like the cap, the guide map, right? But as we get above like 300,000 purchase, I've seen offers decline a little bit because it's a little bit harder to warrant a high enough rent rate based on the higher purchase price, right? Pretty simple. I mean, a $350,000 house probably isn't the most ideal rental, right? But anything 100 to 290, 300,000, like that's the strike zone, right? That's where they're coming in aggressive. Now, things are always shifting, right? Always changing. A big thing I'll point out, make sure you always check out the Zillow view. The reason I say this is because either that or Google Street, Google Earth, they don't like to buy on double yellow lines, right? It's just a busier street, more going on. So the first thing I do when I'm underwriting a deal is I pop on Zillow and I'll just take a little stroll around the neighborhood. Okay, nice. This is in a neighborhood. It's not a busy double yellow line street. Perfect, right? They like neighborhoods. This is actually a property that we have under contract with the fund set to close in 2 weeks. They're paying $299, right? $299. And I hate when my screen doesn't pull up sold comps like this. It's just wanting to stay with the for sales. Those are some new constructions. I'll let you guys dive in with some of that stuff later. But again, make sure neighborhood type settings are preferred, right? Watch out for the double yellow lines. If it's on a double yellow line, I've gotten some pass through as long as the speed limit's less than 35 miles per hour. But I'm going to say out of about 30 double yellow lines, I found one with the speed limit under 35. And that one we got pushed through, right? But that's kind of just the guiding line when I'm looking at it. I stay away from the double yellows. An acre or less is preferred, but in some of the heavy buy markets, which we'll touch on in just a moment, I do have ability to expand to about 2 acres. Okay. So I can kind of walk you through those as we go. Now, at the moment, Fund 2 is most aggressive. Fund 2 is paying a little bit more than Fund 1. Now, this has recently shifted. I don't know what's going on the back end, but Fund 1 has given me a little bit lower offers over the past couple weeks. So I've been telling our partners, if you're active in any of these bigger markets and you're doing virtual, let's maybe start to focus on the overlapping markets that Fund 2 is in, right? So I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't see this changing anytime soon, these highlighted markets, Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, and Nashville are the top buy box areas, period, right? Not only do every single one of these markets overlap with Fund 1's markets, right? So we can shop the deal out to a couple different heavy hitters, but Fund 2 is hyper aggressive, right? Purchase price is around the same criteria. They'll actually buy 2-bed, 1 bath and up, where Fund 1 will only purchase 3-bed, 1 bath and up, right? Fund 2 will purchase 800 square feet and greater. Fund 1 is only 900 square feet and greater, right? So if you're taking this information and you're releasing it in your marketing, we provide everything for you. So we got each fund, I got a buy box folder, right? This is all shared with you. Fund 2, boom, opened up. We got a standard buy box zip code list. This zip code list is every zip code, every area that they're currently buying in these different markets, right? So Atlanta, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Raleigh, Charlotte, Miami, right? And the list goes on. We also have the priority zip codes. So if you go back the priority zip code list. This is where they're looking for a little bit nicer houses that are newer builds, which I have that information for you guys here as well. Standard buy box, 800 square feet or greater, 2-bed, 1-bath. The priority properties, they'll pay well above retail for houses that fit this. But obviously it's harder to find houses built after 1990, 1,500 square feet and greater, 3-bed, 2-bath, right? That just closes the buying box a little bit. So again, we're just going heavy on the standard buy box, and we're just going crazy. Any of these markets, right? But the zip code list is here to help guide you guys. So, hey, you can actually take these zip codes. I have some different trainings showing you guys how we pull them internally, but I literally just copy it off of the list. I'll go to PropStream or whatever type of data tool you're using, and we just upload it in the system, right? Based off of the buy box stuff, right? Buy box, 2-bed, 1-bath and up, 800 square feet and greater, and then I dial in the property value between about 100,000 and 330 ballpark, right? So literally I just take the zip codes, and again, I'll give you guys access to more in-depth training, like step A to Z, what we're doing with this, right? But we just enter the zip codes in, boom. Let's pull them up, Atlanta, Georgia. We filter those down. Whatever you're doing for your lists, you could go to tired landlords. I actually dial that in myself. So owner occupied, no. Property characteristics, we want residential, single family only, 2-bed, 1-bath and up, 800 square feet and greater, and we'll just say 1940 and newer, right? Boom. MLS status, no. Ownership info. If you really want to get a little more targeted, maybe do 10 years of ownership and greater, right? That's more of a tired landlord, because one, they've owned this property for a long time. Might be time to cash out. A lot of people think we're at the top of the market, which I think it's just going to continue to go up, right? But 10 years or greater, individual owner. And then the last thing I'll really touch, I would include unknown sales dates. And then equity, just put 20%. If they got 20% or greater, they can walk out with cash in their pocket, right? But I'll just pull that, boom, add these to my list, boom. Real simple, right? That's a training for another day, but that's just showing you guys how I would just take the zip code list. You can literally just release this in your marketing. Talk about reverse engineering. Instead of just marketing for properties across the board, get laser sharp focused, know where the heaviest buyers are playing, and market in those areas, right? That's how you guys are really going to drive the ship forward. The best investors, the best entrepreneurs realize that, and they use that, right? So here's your quick list for fun too. Just to keep it simple across the board, paste this on your little notepad on your computer. Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Jacksonville, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Nashville. Boom. I got some more information like building real estate agent referral partners. I've built out an entire system with that, showing you guys how to have the conversations, how to work on your pitch with that. Again, I never thought about utilizing a real estate agent in the past, but with the amount that these funds can pay for houses, I've built a couple relationships saying, hey, we're working with a big institutional buyer. They can pay all cash, pay 100% of the property's value. If you happen to have a pocket listing or someone that's looking to bring their property to market, if maybe just let them know that we got a big cash buyer that can pay all cash. You can keep that full commission, right? Which agents are ecstatic right now. The market's so crazy that they're getting undercut on commissions. So whatever you negotiate on your commission base, you keep that. We'll get our price baked on top, right? I don't want us to focus on that so much, again, because I think the more you can hustle, get in the trenches, make offers, the better. But I just have information here that, help you guys kind of get an outside perspective to generate more opportunities, right? But all that's in the partnership portal, right? Pretty simple, pretty clean cut, one-stop shop that I keep updated with all information you should need. Going back to this, Understanding the buy box, guys, probably one of the most important things you can do, right? So I would go as far as saying this, like the most important thing you could do is take action. It's that simple. Just take action. Second most important thing you can do, understand the buy box, right? Buy box is simple. Follow it, right? Build your marketing around it. Target cities only. Bed, bath, square footage, pretty simple. Property value, neighborhood value, get a feel for it. Release your marketing, make it happen. Here's just a quick case study. These are some properties that we have personally closed and a couple of them that are set to close in the next 2 weeks. 16 Benfield Crest, 18 and 26. These are all Atlanta, Georgia properties, right? So Atlanta is the honeypot, right? Atlanta's the top market across the country for the big buyers, big institutions, right? If we were to look at these numbers, right, and actually pull them up on Zillow, let's just see what it looks like. All right, Zestimate's got it at 170. Now, I wish Zillow would show me the sold comps, but it's been acting weird on my computer. My phone ain't giving me this problem. Anyways, we'll just assume ballpark 170 after repair value, right? That's what Zillow says. We got a contract on that bad boy at 227. 227. Our partner locked it up at 190, and we're making a 30K spread. Not only that, the seller owns both of these properties next door. So guess what? He locked up all three properties at 190. We're at 227, 227. I think the other one's 231, right? So after splits, this guy is going to make like $70,000 this month between these and then Plantation, right? Plantation, they're buying at 299. That's one partner. So if you think about it, like if you got, out there doing the traditional wholesale thing, running your marketing, doing the model, we might pull 10, 15K spreads and we're happy, right? Again, the old model is dying. The market is shifting and changing so quickly. This thing sold 2 years ago for 170 and the fund is paying 299 for it. What? And then talk about these big iBuyers. Look at that. Zillow's even giving us, hey, unlock your offer now. They're offering 288 off the rip. What? Obviously, they're going to inspect it, and if it needs a lot of repairs, they're going to beat them up on repairs. But, guys, it's terrifying what's happening in the industry. Like, I see it coming, right? Real estate, as we know, it's never going to be the same. But the way I see it is I'm going to work my tail off to make sure that we end up on the other side of that separation of wealth, right? It's happening right in front of our eyes. I wish more people would wake up to it, right? But again, there's a lot of these case studies that I have for you guys just to take a look, check these out for yourselves, right? Look them up on Zillow, look at the values. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will, right? We can talk about what that might look like after splits. I mean, it's very rare that after a split, anyone walks out with less than 10K, right? Average deal size is about 40. Now, going back to that, I'll just give you guys a visual of that, right? So, Benfield, 221. Okay, so this, one of the funds charges real estate commissions, right? So, these Benfield properties, their initial offer is 227. But anytime they present an offer to us, they show us, boom, 221, this is net to you. It's 221 and some change, right? But I rounded the numbers. So again, 221, 221, 225. This Elmwood one, this is one of our in-house deals, 270. Actually, this repair came back. We're a little bit lower than 270 right now, but still. Rob Meyer, this is Columbus. Zestimate 150. They're paying 175. And these are a couple different funds, right? Loyola Properties, 125, 125. And those were kind of in like questionable area. I wasn't sure if they'd buy these, right? It was a little more run down, borderline almost hood, right? Plum Lake, this one, the rehab was about halfway complete. Didn't have cabinets, right? Didn't really have a kitchen in place. It was kind of like a fresh canvas, right? So drywall was done and ready for paint, but they started a rehab and didn't complete it. They're at 193 on that, right? Which you see this estimate. Kingfisher, that was in-house. Jay closed that one. Jay, why don't you talk about your experience with Miss Wanda? If you're available. Jay might be on a call. If you're there, feel free to dial in. But I'm telling you, these sellers, once they see how smooth the closing process is, they like praise you. Thank you so much. It's never been so easy for me to sell a house, right? I've never gone through a real estate transaction this easy, this smooth. And you can get those testimonials, right? Make sure that when you close these deals with these people, get them on a Zoom call or get them on a FaceTime, record your screen, whatever that process is, document it, right? You want to get that proof of concept so you can present that either in email form or whatever your means of communication with these sellers, right? But again, this is just case studies. Look at the numbers, right? Look at these numbers. This was the Memphis one. This was in St. Louis before St. Louis got taken off the buy box, right? But 125, his estimate's 107. Gaylord, this one already closed too. 75 was our partner's contract price. We sold it for 100, right? So that's what it is, guys. My goal moving forward, I'm gonna start focusing more on strategy. This onboarding call is to get you guys in the game, get you acclimated with the system, ready to go, so that we can confidently step out and utilize this in marketing, right? Again, I'm not saying, hey, change up everything you're doing. If you got something that's working, keep doing that, right? But know that there is a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of money in the market. Now, the consumers have just taken the stimulus money and bought whatever they buy, right? New cars, Jordans, things that are going to lose value. These smart investors who are pulling out PPP, EIDL loans and all that free government backing, business, government money, it's like a vacuum cleaner and they're sucking the liquidity out of the market. And guess what? They're releasing it to all these single family properties. So what I believe, now this rabbit hole goes deep. We could be on a real long call about what this looks like, but I think in the next 10 years, most major metropolitan market and medium-sized markets are going to be majority corporate owned, right? Meaning for a middle-class family to be able to afford a house in the future is going to be much, much more difficult than it ever has been, right? Again, there's a lot of reasons for this, right? Current administration is definitely behind a lot of what's going on. When you hear the word like affordable housing, it sounds really good, right? But when they're talking affordable housing, they're talking about finding land, building these huge apartment buildings, right? So they can house more people, right? Control what they think, what they see, everything else. Again, that's a rabbit hole. We won't get into that, but that's what's coming, right? Same thing with the single family space. So again, guys, if we're not taking action on the opportunities, figuring out how to leverage the liquidity in the market, develop strategic partnerships, we're going to get left behind, right? So as far as our internal marketing, top list right now, tired landlords is number 1. Failed listings is great because, hey, these are people that have actually raised their hand at one point to sell, but for whatever reason decided to take it off the market, right? Failed listings has been a good list for us because at one point these people raised their hand, right? Senior owners, vacant properties. Just to show you guys a little bit on the back end, this is what our team's kind of working on. Again, as we continue to grow, my goal is to equip you guys with better processes, right? To show you how to construct a team on the back end so you can vertically integrate. What do I mean by vertically integrating? Find you a virtual assistant, right? Virtual assistants range from $3, $4, $5 an hour. Teach them everything you know, right? I'm not saying to do that off the rip. You need to understand your processes first, but once your process is in place, hey, teach somebody else how to do that and teach them so well that you can take yourself out of that equation. Now, that's what we've done with Alex. Alex has been with us about 3 years. Alex understands the back end so well that anytime I need a new VA, Alex, I need some new talent. So Alex goes out, he promotes, he finds VAs that, one, speak very good English, they're good communicators, they have quality equipment that can handle the bandwidth of what we're doing using predictive dialers, and they have stable internet, right? He's got to flag all these applicants beforehand before they even get to my desk to get on a Zoom call, right? But when you're put in that position, that puts you in a place where you can elevate, right? You're not just stretching this way, right, and creating deals that you can see, but you're actually vertically integrating, creating more opportunities inside of your business so you can scale and expand, right? So what we're doing on the back end, you can see this tab is all the retail fund, right? So process is pretty simple. We're pulling data. In all those markets that I showed you the zip codes, right? We're pulling data. Our VAs are having conversations. Hey, Mr. Seller, I know this call's a little bit out of the blue. Just wanted to give you a buzz and see if you might entertain an offer on your house at 1201 Courtney Cove Courtney Cove Court, right? Go through that process. Anyone that raises their hand, right? They pull out the asking price if possible, timeline, all that stuff, right? Now, we're working on some stuff. We've actually helped to train a couple of our partners' teams. I didn't charge anything to do it. My thought is that if we can empower you guys with the tools to win, we're all going to win, right? Because this is the best play, the best across the board. This is how it's going to happen, right? So again, pulling data, getting them going. Alex, we'll make this real quick, but do you want to just talk a little bit about how you run and manage the back end, what those systems look like?
All right, so basically what we're using right now is batch dialer. That's where we actually upload data that are being pulled out from PropStream and being skip traced. So I make sure that the leads that are uploaded there are well programmed so that the VAs will be able to dive in and hit all the markets that we are actually hitting. Currently, we are working on new markets, which is Orlando, Jacksonville, Charlotte, and Atlanta. It's just new data that just uploaded in the dialer. We have 4 VAs that are actively doing cold callings right now. And what I do is I'm in charge of making sure that everyone is aligned to our script, and I do the trainings. I make sure I monitor their calls and make sure that there are no areas of improvements, and just make sure that they are all following the script so that the messages are being delivered across to the sellers or the leads that we have on the data. So we ask pre-qualifying questions and make sure that these sellers are motivated to sell. So once we have justified that these sellers are really motivated to sell, and that's the time that we actually put it in our appointment tracker and have our acquisitions team handle moving forward the communications with the sellers, and they do the closing. So moving forward, Jay is the one who's actually making conversation with all these sellers to verify all the information that the VAs got firsthand when doing cold calling. I'm also in charge of doing text blasting using our tool, which we call batch leads, and we also have another tool that our another VA that's actually using it, which is our launch control. Very powerful tool because we can actually set up a drip sequence where we can follow up in the near future for those sellers that are looking forward to sell in the future, but not currently. So those are the tools that we're using. So technically what I'm doing on the back end is just monitor our VAs and make sure that everyone is on track.
Yeah. So again, I'm sure a lot of you guys already have systems, processes in place. I'm not asking you guys to change anything. You guys got a process, follow it. Do what you're best at, right? Find your superpower and focus on that. But the goal is to build, going back to our slides, right? Build a team so strong that you don't know who the boss is, right? We come together, we have a morning huddle, right? Come together, share strategies, share information. In our reporting, right? So reporting is super important. I did a YouTube video about it. Real simple. You don't have to get a whole lot of things, but at least gather the number of calls made each day and the number of leads brought through the calls, right? So at the end of every shift, every VA reports how many calls they made, how many leads out of either the SMS campaigns or the cold call campaigns, right? And then to take that a step further, that gets put into our master sheet. Let me get Mary. Mary's our little tech guru. It goes into our master scorecard, right? So boom, we can track those numbers based on the month and see the total leads, percentage of calls coming through cold calls, SMS campaigns, all that stuff, right? So if we go to cold calling, we can actually see for each rep during the month of October, we're reporting it all, right? This is the way to really manage the back end. You can track your numbers. You can physically see it input every day, right? So it's giving you that information that you can say, okay, we spent this amount of money on this many callers this month, right? Generated this many leads, and out of those leads got this many contracts, right? Let's look at that as far as the SMS. And then you could look at that against direct mail, pay-per-click, or whatever other campaigns you got going, right? But again, knowing your numbers, it's a high-level thing that you need to get in place. I was complacent with this for many years, right? For years. It wasn't until recently that I realized I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not good at creating spreadsheets and running numbers. And I recognize the power of who, not how, right? Most amazing concept that I ever wrapped my mind around. Who can I find that has the skills that I need to accomplish this task? Once you find them, explain your process, show them what you want, and let them build it, right? That'll change your life. That'll change your life forever. And that's an amazing book, by the way. Who, Not How. Who, Not How. That's a good read.
Damn, I've been front backstage.
Okay, let me let him on real quick.
Backstage.
Awesome. Hey, and let him know too, bro, that we'll go ahead and give you guys a link. We'll take the recorded call so you guys can get access to it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. So that's the overview. I know that's a lot of information. I actually wasn't planning on opening up this stuff, but I figured it'd be helpful for you guys to see the way that we've structured things on the back end, right? So that you can take some of those same strategies to implement inside of your own business, right? Jam-packed with information. But I really want to dial in and center on this one thing, right? On getting you guys onboarded with the retail fund process. Again, this 45-minute strategy call, just similar to this, but it's really just straight to the point, what that process looks like. If you guys have already tuned into this whole video, no need to watch it, right? The deal submission link, real simple. Follow the steps, submitting deals into the system. We do maintain an open line of communication with all of our partners. So in the early stages, having the confidence to make offers, right? Especially when it's like, hey, we're like pretty close to retail here in my offer. I've never made an offer so high before because I've never sold a wholesale deal this high. What do you think? Right? We got our underwriting team on the back end to help really walk through those steps. But the goal is to get you guys in the driver's seat, right? So you can see you have the roadmap right here, right? You got the buy boxes. Again, focus on these markets. So I would, in the partnership portal, go straight down to fund 2. Go bananas in these markets, right? These are the overlapping markets, and I'm pulling more aggressive offers in here across the board than most of the other markets up here, right? Not to say don't hit these areas. If you got opportunities, get them. But these are the heavily congested markets that we're seeing the best results. Strike zone 110 to 300,000. 2-bed, 1-bath and up, 800 square feet and greater. Go straight to your zip code list, pull it up. You got your zip codes. That's your buy box. Release that into your marketing, and let's get it rocking. That's really all I got, guys. We have quick links. So these little bit.ly links, I'll give you guys access to it too. But again, the submission form, this is just a quick link taking you to the submission. The partnership portal, your bit.ly partnership portal link will take you straight to the partnership portal. I would save the partnership portal in your bookmarks, and I would save your submission link in the bookmarks so you can quickly access it when you're turning and burning on your computer, right? Hedge fund video. This is a different video that I did a strategy call with some of our partners. And we dove in with this video more along the lines of I was actually pulling zip codes, putting them into prop stream, pulling up properties, looking at comps. A little bit has changed since then because this was recorded about 3 months ago, but similar concept. And then again, weekly strategy call. We'll be doing a strategy call every Wednesday. This is your link to that, right? So that's today. This onboarding process, I'm actually going to move to a different time so that in the future, the strategy calls, we can focus on really building and empowering you guys, just with some more deep strategies and really try to equip you guys as much as we can. We do have a Facebook group, Wholesalers Playbook. Come check us out. This isn't another one of your big wholesaler groups, wholesaling houses full-time. I have a separate group that's just kind of across the board. We hang out, market, network. Wholesalers Playbook, we're focusing solely on the retail hedge funds, right? So this is for our investment partners. More of an intimate group. You can see we only got 39 members that are in the trenches learning the roadmap. We ask that, we keep it pretty spam free. We're not trying to promote ourselves and much else. We do want to promote unity. Let's come together. Let's celebrate wins, victories. If you got a check, boom, post it up, right? But we're not funneling people to, other groups or whatever we're doing. But again, we're here to guide you guys, here to help you underwrite deals. We're going to provide acquisitions, training and processes, marketing, building a team, and vertically integrating, right? This is stuff that I have experience doing. And wow, for the first time in a long time, I can say I've come up for air, right? That I have the right people in the right seats, and I can think higher level processes like a visionary needs to be, right? Visionary's role should be at a 30,000 square foot or 30,000 foot view above ground where they can look down on the business, see the inner workings, and be able to construct it in a way that every person has what they need, right? That every person has the confidence, that they feel appreciated, and that you also give them ownership, give them leadership opportunities within your organization. There's a military term called decentralized command, right? And all that is you're giving leadership opportunities to people on your team, right? It gives them a place of understanding. It makes them feel important, right? And it helps you to really elevate once you can look at your business as different pillars: acquisitions pillar, marketing pillar, this position's pillar, right? That's what's going to really help you elevate. You guys got any questions as far as markets, deals, process? What are you guys thinking?
Hey, Ben, can you send me those quick links? Because I think when I wasn't able to register, you just did the link straight out.
Yeah.
Get on the Zoom call.
Yep, I got you. Let me go ahead and do that right now, bro. Let's see. So these quick links, I'll go ahead and post these in the chat. So let's go to more chat. Boom. All right, there's your quick links in the group chat, guys. Miami available. Craig had a question, is Miami available? Yes, Miami is definitely a market that we can hit. If you're turning and burning in Miami, yes, let's dial in with that for sure. As far as our VAs, Ryan, all of our team is in-house. We've built out our in-house team. We're in a position now where we've gotten really good at recruiting. Whenever I need new talent, I let Alex know. Alex goes on the hunt, right? I've heard good things about like Call Geeks. I haven't tried them myself. We used Phone Beasts for a while. I personally didn't have the best results with them. We ended up having to cut ties in that relationships, but I've heard other people have good feedback with it, right? So I'm not here to down any companies, but we've found the best results whenever we've put those feelers out personally, right? I think in that process, the best thing you can do is to find that one, right? Once you can find that one VA that's loyal, that's going to stick by your side through thick and thin, that's going to understand your process and not just take what you're doing, and kind of meander in the background, but they're truly here as a support system. Find that one, train them, equip them, let them run your system for 2-3 months, and get them in a position where you can, boom, maybe give them a raise, right? Give them a 50 cent or dollar raise, vertically integrate, and allow them to teach and train what they know to the new VAs that you bring on site. Now, the first one can be a little bit difficult. I'll have a VA training on how you can find and recruit VAs. Honestly, the first one I found on Upwork, and that was actually Alex's cousin, Mary. And Alex came through Mary, and since then, every single VA is in-house, right? Mary actually approached me early on and said, hey, this platform takes a lot of the money that you're paying me. Is there any way you can pay me outside of here? I was like, cool. You just let me know what I got to do, right? So we did that, and yeah. The first hire can be difficult. Just make sure your hiring process, you gotta be really dialed in. I would put a post up, say your job requirements, have about 4 to 5 different steps, make your text kind of long-winded, and at the end of it, also ask them to record a short video, say a 30, let's say a minute and a half video of why you feel you should be a good fit for our company and what skills you have to bring to the table, right? Now, I can tell you right now,
I'm getting these VAs to partner with me because, they can make the $3-4 an hour, but I think they're more vested, or they have a vested interest if they become part of the deal. You know what I'm saying? So, come on, a little small percentage of the deal, you get results. So I got 3 that I'm interviewing on Monday. So,
yeah, we do bonuses. Definitely incentivize performance always. If you're not giving bonuses based on performance, you're never going to get the results that you want, that you're seeking, right? Your team needs to feel like they're a part of the vision. You got to be able to cast that vision. You got to be able to explain it in a way that they see that you're onto something big, and they also feel appreciated. And I'll tell you right now, it's in every Filipino culture, they're ingrained to be loyal. They're loyal. They're as loyal as they come. They're not like entitled Americans, right? America, we're lazy and we're entitled, right? We want to do minimal work and we expect to be handed the world, right? That ain't how it works, right? That's the poison in the society right now is we think we can do nothing. Filipinos are loyal.
Right.
My buddy was telling me that I can go on for days, right? But my buddy was telling me that actually came from Alex. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never brought this up. This came up in conversation from another friend of mine. He was talking about us bailing, something about we stepped in one of the wars, World War I or World War II, and kind of pushed our weight around. I don't know who the other force was, but someone was telling me that America stepped in and helped in there was some war or altercation. So I don't know if that helped with the culture or not. Would you be able to shine a light with that, Alex? All right. Looks like you might not be here. If you can chime in, Alex, or JB, if you're there, I'd love to hear your insight on how your culture views working for American companies.
Hi,
I think I just muted her as she started talking.
yeah. Hi, everyone.
JB, what's up?
All good, boss.
Good. Yeah, tell us a little bit about just we could go deep in there. Tell us about Filipino culture.
Filipino culture, boss. Basically, we are very known for being hospitable, as you know.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned a while ago that you had a talk with your friend about how Americans step in
Yeah.
our culture, yep. Actually, there was a time that the Americans stepped in here in the Philippines. That's why we are being influenced with some of the foods that you got there. I mean, I'm not really that knowledgeable with how the Americans influence our ancestors, but I know what I know is that the Americans helped the Philippines a lot way back. That's why I think what we are doing as VAs is actually giving back what we got from you guys. And also, it's actually, we inherited all of the traits that we got from our ancestors for being hospitable. We are, boss, as you know, we are very hard worker.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep. And even a single cent is actually very valuable to us. As you know, a lot of or some clients are actually giving us like small offers when we are applying for jobs, like around, some are giving like $2 per hour, some are $3, and the Filipinos are very grateful and thankful for that already.
Yeah.
Right, because since we are very hard workers, that's actually that's a lot of help, right? Like what you, boss, actually helped us, right? Since I started working with you, you really helped us a lot. You know our struggles, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very grateful and also thankful always.
That's incredible. See, they're your team, right? And you need to treat them like family. Like Alfred and JB, I hope you don't mind me sharing, JB. Their house flooded a couple weeks ago, right? There was a big flood and like everything got washed away, right? Like all their furniture was ruined. They had to pick up their family and go to their in-laws' house. Really like horrible stuff. And they're in monsoon season like half of the year, right? So they're dealing with like heavy natural type of disasters. But I mean, your team, you need to treat them like family, right? Like if they're in a place of need, help them out, right? Especially if we have the means to it. Be God's hands and feet, right? And they're going to be forever grateful and loyal to you because of that, right? Take care of your team.
That's right.
So my videographer just handed me this. He Googled it. He said, the date for the Philippine independence and U.S. military withdrawal was approaching, resulting in a reduction in funds from the U.S. military to directly support the expansion of the Philippine Commonwealth Army. $12 million were provided to the Commonwealth for the establishment of the Philippine Army in 1936. So that's probably what my buddy was talking about. That's not the only reason they're so loyal. They're just loyal because that's ingrained in their culture, right? But again, you can build a really strong team on the back end. You just got to find that one, right? Find your one rock star, and then build your team on that. That'd be my best advice. Yep.
That's right. You can really expect determination and hard work from us Filipinos.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, that's all I got. I'm going to cut you guys loose for a minute. My hope is that you can take this information and just get in the game, right? Get in the game. Most of you are already actively investing. That's amazing. Keep it going. Keep the momentum. I'm not saying switch up your whole strategy.
We with you, brother.
That's what's up. Yeah, Jamal's pushing hard. Jamal's pushing hard. So yeah, if you guys got any questions, again, you can reach me directly. I'm always by my phone. If I don't get back immediately, there's a lot going on. So with the decentralized command, again, my wife is in the seat where she helps underwrite deals. So when there's a deal in question, shoot it my way. I'll patch us in with Lisa, so Lisa can really carry the baton and help you guys navigate that process. Jason's our acquisitions full-time. Jason will spend some time with you guys with acquisition strategies, especially as we continue to build this. Just so you can kind of see what we got going on the back end as well. I have, we're building out our Kajabi site, right? So wholesalersPlaybook.com. I'm going to have a free product offering once it's built, right? So this is what I'm currently in the process of getting. Onboarding video, welcome to the code, partnership portal. So a lot of this free course that we're going to give people is kind of this onboarding broken into portals. And then I'm going to provide a bunch of other access to stuff like for sale by owner training. We'll have some acquisitions modules and other things. Eventually, we're going to build it out and we're going to have like a membership economy, right? So it'll be a lower ticket type of offering where people can come in and join our mastermind, where we'll have a weekly strategy call, right? Once a week, we'll talk some type of high level acquisitions, vertically integrating your back end team, negotiations, marketing, whatever it might be, right? So that's not in play as of yet, but we're building the back end. First off, again, I want to get you guys free stuff, right? You guys win, we win, right? So my goal in the relationship is not to charge you for coaching or anything. I believe that a natural law of leadership, the more that we can give and empower our network, it's going to create more opportunities for everyone, right? Eventually, my goal is to launch a membership economy, is what I call it, right? Membership economy is the best way to build predictable revenue growth, right? You're not always hunting towards your next deal. But we're in process of putting some high-level mastermind groups together. Once or twice a year, we'll rent a super big luxury house, have 10 to 15 high-level people that come together and just talk shop, share strategy and vision over the weekend, and really build those relationships, right? But that's in the future. For now, my sole focus is really building out the partnership thing with the fund. Opportunity is incredible. Who knows how long this liquidity is going to be in the market before the market turns, before banks stop lending, whatever the case might be, right? So again, the time is now. Get out there, guys, take action, and let's get some deals done.
Hey, Ben, quick question before you guys leave.
Yeah, man.
Okay, if we have a dealer question, what's the best way to submit it to you? By email or by Facebook or by text?
Good question.
So Lisa can check it out.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and patch you in a message with Lisa, so we'll have like a shared group chat.
Okay.
I'm actually thinking about really pulling out our committed partners, and I'm thinking about adding that to a Slack channel that's dedicated solely to the retail fund. So I'm thinking that's probably, if we grow, because my goal is not to get so many partners that we're working with that the system gets congested and clogged up, and our service and our commitment to make this thing great doesn't get watered down, right? We want to have efficient communication. That's, again, why I'm building out the processes, and we have the right people in the right seats to help answer questions as well. For now, it's going to be a shared message thread. If we do grow a bit more, I think I'm going to start adding some of you guys to this Slack channel. And Slack's just a good place to have a running tab of communication with people, right? Where you guys can shop out some deals, send it our way, and get it going.
Okay, and my other question is, if my buy box is buying a 2-1, my solely focus should be on 2-1 instead, like you need 3-1s and 3-2s, correct?
So 2-1 and up, right? The 2-1 is just the minimum buying criteria. 3-1 is better, right? A three bed house is more desirable than a 2-bed house. But the 2 beds, that's our ground level, right? That's the minimum buying criteria. We can go up 3-bed, 4-bed, 5-bed houses from there, as long as it fits within that threshold, right? Max purchase price $350. We've gotten some deals pushed through to like $390. I mean, Denver's buy box is $500,000. We got a $450 deal right now in Denver. But yeah, just, again, going back to the buy box, the information in the buy box, when I say you see 2 and a plus sign, 2-bed and up, right? 1 bath and up, 800 square feet and greater. Exceeding that, really the only cap is like once you start to hit the max purchase price. Does that make sense?
Okay, gotcha. Okay, last question.
Yep.
You were saying that you had some success with some failed listings. Being that the seller, were on the MLS, they're kind of off, but like more or less like they were still trying to get retail for their property. What is the play more like? You didn't get a chance to sell it up, you buy it for cash and that kind of stuff. That's what kind of.
Yeah, so I just come with a service first approach. Like anytime you're talking with the seller, you don't want to sound like a snobby car salesman, right? You always want to build the relationship first, right? Make these people feel comfortable, earn their trust, build that rapport before you even talk about a sale, right? Ask about their family, ask about their occupation, their dog, their kids, right? Build the relationship, go through it. And then once the relationship is built, I always ask, the best negotiators learn how to ask open-winded questions. Like, hey, I see that your house was listed for some time. What ended up happening with that, right? How did that make you feel? Did you get in, you want the seller to talk as much as possible, and you just want to ask the right questions, because as people start to open up, right, one, they're going to lay their cards out and kind of show you the unique situation that they're in, so you can best position yourself to help and serve them, right? Like I told Jay, my favorite line in talking with sellers, my ultimate goal is to identify how we can best serve you, how I can best serve you, right? Service first approach in sales. So just, get them to lead, ask the questions. And when it comes to the price, right, I would say they want retail, houses worth $250. Hey, I understand that you want $250. My goal is to get you as much money as possible. I want to maximize your equity position to help you in the next leg of your journey. and I'm pretty confident we can probably meet you at the number. My only request is this: if you were to list your house on the MLS tomorrow and you sold at full retail, you sell it for $250, you're still going to have to pay your real estate agent 6% commission, right? If I was to put together an all cash offer, right, we're not going to beat you down on contingencies. We're actually covering all closing costs. Would you be willing to meet me at the amount that you would pay a real estate agent to seal the deal, put an all cash offer together, and get it signed today, right? With that, if it's in one of the highly competitive markets, that 6% off of 250 is what, 18, 16, something like that? Yeah, so 18, and let's say I submit it, I don't know, 10, 15, maybe 20,000 above ARV. I'm not saying if it's really desired, they're going to pay above retail, right? And that above retail, they also have like $30,000-$40,000 repair scope baked into the offer. That's actually what I forgot to talk about in that presentation. They give us repair scopes built into the offers already, right? We got like a gold, silver, and bronze scope between like 25 on a low end, 35 is the silver, and like gold scope is like 45, right? We'll get in the weeds with that. Yeah, if it's moving ready, that's great, right? They're going to leave a little bit of room in their repair scope, but again, if you can get it 6% below retail value, good chance that I'm going to be able to get an offer above it, right? So just to be clear, so some markets we're seeing, especially not the overlapping markets, but some of the other ones, I've seen a decline in their price a little bit. And I say retail value very lightly. They're analyzing their numbers based on cap rates, right? Based on purchase price, rental income, and all that stuff. But more times than not, they're coming in super aggressive. It's right around that retail range, right? So take it with a grain of salt. Again, it's not like, hey, every house we send them, they're paying retail, but the desired properties that they want, they're paying above it, right?
For example, for like example, if I do have a seller that want to go that way, I can kind of send Lisa the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give me an idea before I even in the contract. Just to have an idea.
Yeah, we can at least give you the insight so that you have the confidence walking in a negotiation. That way, you're not locking up a deal. You got a contract on it. We look at it. I'm like, dude, this is on a double yellow, and it's it's not going to work. You're too high on whatever. Yeah, our goal is to help you underwrite the deals. Ultimately, I want you to get into a spot where you can just facilitate and close it, and you've done enough that you understand what the ARV and the buy box looks like. But yeah, early stages, as we're helping to equip you and build confidence, we are there. Lisa's really good at looking at the numbers and telling you pretty effectively, hey, I'm pretty confident on this one, make a move, right?
Okay, great.
Awesome.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Cool. Good stuff, guys. Well, I look forward to connecting with every single one of you. Make sure to get those links that I shared in the group chat. If you want to join the Wholesalers Playbook Facebook group, it's just an area where we can chat, talk strategy. But reach out to me personally. Let's get some deals rocking, and look forward to making some money, guys. Awesome.
Thank you.
See you guys on the other side.